Well, here's another shot at a little tidbit concerning Star Trek. Heard rumors of this before and hoped it was true. It was the only bright spot to hear about what might come out of the current era of Star Trek. And that would be a Captain Pike Star Trek series. I suppose it could just be Star Trek Pike. And Picard will not be the only one that's STP. But this is the one thing that could possibly save what's left of quite a few disasters. Because right now, even Picard, there was some promise there, but good Lord, the material wasn't there. They had enough material for one episode. And if they would go back to the episodic treatment, they might have had something, but they gotta have the material, and I'm guessing they didn't. Plus, the material they're dealing with is stuff the old show and the movies already dealt with. So, it's kind of silly. And a waste of time and talent. And plus, apparently Patrick Stewart was not interested in revisiting Star Trek, per se. He wanted it to be a different show. And so, I guess you couldn't have done it at all then. I guess you should have moved on with something else. And maybe it should have been this. Now, apparently on the set, there were some ruffled feathers going on, and Anson Mount was none too happy about it. But maybe he can be talked to come back and do this. Even though Ethan Peck doesn't look anything like Leonard Nimoy's Spock, he actually looked better with the beard. But you can't keep doing that if you're going to try to be these days of Star Trek. But his performance, for what it was, the dialogue they gave him was awful. The story and the plot they gave him was terrible. But I don't really fault him, per se, in any of it. And I think given a shot, given a chance, and this happens again and again with a lot of shows these days, I think some of these guys could come forth and really show off some stuff here. It's for number one. I didn't get enough of her there. She looks, it's Rebecca Romaine. She looks fantastic. But I did not watch the short treks. I didn't hear anything good about them. And from what I've seen of Discovery and now Picard, why bother? So this would be a good thing. Maybe CBS Viacom needs to get some different people to write the scripts for this series, and people who understand Star Trek and that sort of thing. And you need to get it out from the hands of Secret Hideout. And this just not working. They don't know what they're doing. So anyway, a new rumor. So I'm guessing this is a newer one than the old one. Indicates the Captain Pike Star Trek series is in the pipeline at CBS, and it probably better be, because boy, this is as good as it's gonna get. The rumor comes from, and this is from, of course, Bounding in the Comics that I'm reading this here. But anyway, the rumor originally comes from Giant Freaking Robot. Who report, we've heard from two different sources now that's one of those two shows. Okay, there's two shows they're talking about. Yeah, recently, I forget the guy's name at one of the investors meetings or what have you, and was talking about, we got these other shows in the works and still a film. As to whether that was supposed to be the Hawley Star Trek 4 or the Tarantino Star Trek. And neither one of those, I think, are happening. So, but he was trying to allay their concerns and fears, but I don't think it did. But anyway, so they say they have now two sources saying they've heard that, yes, the Captain Pike adventures on the Enterprise would get a go-ahead for a series. The series will follow Captain Christopher Pike and his crew as they take the Enterprise out on a new 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds. That in and of itself is much better. So that each episode they go to some new sci-fi concept. Like Star Trek. If they could just approach it as that, even if the shows are only kind of adequate, at this point it would be a breath of fresh air and probably get more praise than it would initially deserve. But after having a couple of years of really god-awful Star Trek, it would be a welcome thing. So, Giant Freaking Robot are not the only ones to report on this rumor. We've got this covered. Well, rumors abound, don't they? Also reports that Captain Pike series is in the work. They report that a Pike is in development for CBS All Access. Don't have him wear that. Don't do that. They also indicate that Ethan Peck's Spock and Rebecca Romijn's #1 will join Anson Mount's Captain Pike. Yeah, well, there you go. That's basically the cast right there. You can, and it leaves it open to who else could be a part of the crew, because, you know, who's to say that the guys you saw in the cage were the regulars or whatnot. I guess they would look for some guy to be the old doctor, but that's too much like the relationship between Kirk and McCoy. You don't want your Pike to be Kirk. Your Pike is, if he's going to be anyone else besides Pike, since we only saw one episode of him, he would be closer, I think, to Picard than he would be Kirk. In that he seemed to be a more strict captain and a more by the book type guy. But anyway, so these rumors come after, here we go. Viacom CBS president and CEO Bob Bakish detailed that CBS was developing 2 unnamed Star Trek series alongside Star Trek Picard and Discovery. Bakish stated on Viacom CBS Q4 2019 earnings conference call, building on Discovery and Picard, we now have 2 additional series in production at CBS All Access and Nickelodeon, and 2 more series in development. So, yeah, I think, the Nickelodeon, I think that's the lower, here we go. The 2 shows in production are more likely to Star Trek Lower Decks and an untitled Nickelodeon animated series being developed by the Hageman brothers? I don't know. So that's been around for a while. I would have thought if it was a serious deal, it would have already been available, but So apparently, yes, these are 2 other shows, and hopefully one of them is this. The other series, the Section 31 spinoff, which I just would scrap that altogether and go for this. This could possibly be your salvation for Star Trek. If you pursue any more of this kind of crap, I don't see the interest there, and I think it's just people are just not even gonna give it a shot. Because I'm at the end of this. I mean, Picard's over. I'm canceling the subscription. If I hear that this is coming, I'll come back in. I'll give that one a shot. Section 31, I've got no interest in. I didn't like the plots of Discovery, so I'm done. So anyway, if back in February there was a rumor, so this is what they're following it up on, and hopefully it's true. A rumor back at the end of January indicated that the Pike series would be announced at San Diego Comic-Con. They also indicated there would be a Starfleet Academy series. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Because that would just be nothing but a teen soap opera type crap thing. And it's possible that could be the untitled Nickelodeon series. Okay, well. Not only was there a rumor at the end of January about a possible Pike series, but CBS Star Trek boss Alex Kurtzman previously hinted at the possibility of a Pike series. Oh, well, this kind of puts a damper on it now. It's just, oh, God, if he's involved in it, I would be remiss in saying that you're going to see Spock again on Discovery, because we've obviously jumped so far into the future that it wouldn't make sense. But the idea of bringing Ethan Peck back and Anson Mount and Rebecca Romijn on the Enterprise, I mean, we loved it so much, and to find a way to do that is definitely something worth thinking about. Yeah, get someone else to do it. You want to put your executive producer name on it so they can cut you a check. Okay, fine. Just keep your hands off of it. This bridge they did was pretty good. It's obviously not the bridge, and it's kind of more derivative of the Kirk bridge. It probably should be more, neutered tones of gray and stuff like that, like Pike's was. But I'll take it. It's better than the one they did for the J.J. Abrams movies, because it's just closer in tone and style of what that bridge is supposed to be. Even though this is supposed to be the actual Pike, it's obviously an alternate time. Come on, it's an alternate universe. It's the only way it works. So, what do you make of this rumor? Well, it's about the only positive news I've heard about this. I think it's worth giving a shot, but if it's the same crew behind it, I don't know how much they're going to pay Anson Mount to come back into that crap. But if you could just, because that's the only prequel idea that I could be interested in. All the other ones I never really cared for. I never liked the idea of them even doing that. But this, with the Adventures of Pike, how many of those did he have? What happened there? There's all kinds of stuff you could do. You're limited by what happened, and that's another thing I'm afraid of. Secret Hideout has no idea how to do any of that. They don't respect the original property, and they don't know how to do it. It can be done. Right now, Breaking Bad's prequel series, Better Call Saul, it's just excellent. I mean, now granted, that's... these people are brilliant over there, but just, pay attention and get those details in and stop. And don't try to just hide your laziness and flaws with political sermons. For God's sakes, it's run its course. It didn't work. It never did. Just let Star Trek people who know what Star Trek is write science fiction adventure. That's all you got to do. So there you go. Hopefully this will happen. Of course, damn good and well, it won't. We'll probably get some moments and some little teases of what might have been, but that's about as good as it'll probably get, which hopefully I'm completely wrong, and we'll get a good Pike series. That would be great. And Anson Mount has got the goods to be a leading man and to carry a TV series. He can do that. So just... don't mess it up, for God's... Look how happy they look, Don't ruin this. All right, thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Most notably, my comic book, Night Night, over at IndiePlanet.com. And you can check out my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, new episodes every Saturday, over at RadioMisfits.com or iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you want to get your podcast. And, of course, you can always watch my videos elsewhere. Yes, there is another platform called BitChute. That's the Mr. Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.